Welcome back to the Thrive360 Podcast. My name is Mitch McKinney. I'm the founder of Thrive360 Ministries, which is a ministry that is dedicated and focused to helping people lead healthy and finish well. Excited to have my friend Monty back with us. Thanks for coming back.
Great to be here.
You know, I don't know if we've talked about on a podcast yet, like the work that we do. We talk about helping people lead healthy and finish well, but we take a different approach.
Yes.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, it's just this idea of so often we respond to things because something happened and we're always chasing it. It's reactive. And the work we're trying to do is really ahead of that. It's proactive.
Upstream.
We're trying to work upstream from crisis instead of waiting until things have already hit.
Yeah, it's a different approach. You know, like in my experience, there's plenty of ministries that will come alongside leaders after they've fallen, help them kind of put the pieces back together after a crash.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is not only prevent the crashes, but equip people, leaders with the tools, the awareness, whatever they need, so that they not only maintain, but they actually thrive.
Yeah. We have a friend who says it's prehab before you need rehab.
Yes, we do. We got to get him on the podcast for sure. So, so today I want us to talk about a topic that we both know a lot about. You know more than me, which is couples who are doing ministry together, right? So I'm married, you're married. You've been longer married.
Different people.
Yeah, different people. You've been married longer than me, right? So how long, tell me, you and Helene?
Helene and I have been married 32 years.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
Just 32.
All in a row.
All in a row.
What about you guys?
26.
26.
Yeah.
Not that far.
No, not that far. But, you know, I mean, God bless.
Yeah.
God bless that woman. How many of those 32 years did you serve or ministry years together?
Yeah, so we did 15 years together in like full-time vocational local church ministry. Before that, there were years where I served as an elder, and then the last 3 years in this ministry context. So, you know, altogether over 20 of them. But yeah.
So I'm assuming, and I know that's a dangerous thing to do, but I'm assuming that in those years there were some highlights, but also some hurts.
You mean some stuff happened?
Yeah, some stuff happened. So can you share, would you mind sharing some of those highlights and hurts?
Well, like the highlights thing is easy because, you know, there's this life calling. And as you start to realize that, see that fulfilled, and you've got this wonderful mission you're on together, and you're praying for and hoping for the fruit and the life change and to see things come from all of the sacrifice. And so to be able to celebrate to see them together and celebrate them together, it's incredibly rewarding. And it's absolutely a ministry highlight is not just doing that stuff, but seeing how God has used you guys together. Yeah. It's really powerful.
Yeah, it's the same for JC and I. Like, it's hard to pinpoint one highlight because the work that we're doing, we're literally seeing people move from death to life.
Yeah.
You know, and slave to free. And we get to be part of that. I don't know if there's is there a greater highlight than being used to do that, you know, to be involved with that kind of changing somebody's life.
Yeah. And how many times after the fact do you hear about something you supposedly said that you don't even remember saying? Yeah. And, or something that your spouse did that made such a big impact on somebody. And just the how that humbles you. I know for us, there's times that people come up and they'll point to something and we're like, I'm not sure that happened. Yeah. But praise God that was your experience. It sure wasn't on purpose. And we get to celebrate that too. It's really wonderful. Yeah,
that's interesting because sometimes I think we, as leaders, we think we're better than we really are. And it's like, no, we're not that good.
Well, and we think I know this is the thing that's going to do it. And we realize like, I don't really know what's going to work sometimes. I just praise God that it works.
Yeah,
and,
praise God.
Someone points it out to us at some point.
Yeah, it's the power of the good news of the gospel getting hold of somebody's heart and life. So there's been a lot of highlights. What about some hurts?
Oh, man. You know, I don't know that it's possible to be a church leader and meet all the expectations. And so there's certainly unmet expectations, some that are known, some that are unknown. Like it was a mystery to us that you ever had this expectation of us. Yeah. Sometimes they're reasonable and you miss them. And it's a very reasonable expectation. That can really hurt you and the other person. Yeah. But then when they're not reasonable, that's tough too, because that could just fill your head. Like, could we ever live up to what everybody expects from us?
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a tough one. I think for me, There have been many, tough spots. I think the one that stands out the most to me, and you know my story, that I went through a real devastating season of burnout.
Yeah.
And that burnout, it all came to this point where one day I physically collapsed in a bathroom, and I just laid on the floor and sobbed for hours and hours and hours. Well, what I don't tell in that story usually is that right before I collapsed, I opened the door to try to get out of the bathroom into the room, and JC, my wife, was there at the door. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I saw her, that's when I collapsed.
Wow.
And so I got to see her face, mm-hmm. and I saw something in her eyes I had never seen before.
Yeah.
And so that's always stuck with me. Yeah. And that's part of the driving force of why we do the work that we do.
Absolutely.
I would never want somebody to see that.
Yeah. No, it's so hard because, enduring the criticism for yourself is one thing, and that's not easy. But when you see or experience the criticism of your spouse, and when you can't do anything about it, and when you see the toll it's taking on them, and you can't do anything about it, and then all of that is kind of nested underneath this is our calling. Mm-hmm. God called us to this. It's going to be difficult. We're not supposed to quit because it's difficult, but it's not supposed to destroy us.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, over all the years that you've been in ministry and all the leaders you've worked with, what are some of the greatest challenges that couples face? I think you tapped on a couple of them there.
Yeah.
But
certainly the expectations game. I think when you're in ministry together, it feels like such a together thing because you're in the same church, you're on the same mission, but you can be moving in different directions because like today's demands, today's expectations, we're not shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah.
Like we're pulling the rope in the same direction, but we're running in opposite directions.
Yeah.
And that can create this loneliness almost in things, and create a degree of isolation. For you as a couple, for sure, because you wind up isolated from all of those that have expectations of you can't meet, and all those that have opinions about how you should be and what you should do and how you should parent and all of those things. But then it can also create isolation within the same household.
Yeah.
Because there's a little bit of, and there's so many ways and reasons that can happen. Mm-hmm. Some of it could be, I just want to give my spouse some space. It's been really tough. And what they need isn't space in that moment. What they need is they need your ear. They need you to listen and understand. But it's so hard to tell what's needed in those moments. And if we're just reacting, then it's a tough battle.
Yeah, sometimes we're running so fast and so hard. And again, we're doing what we feel this needs to be done.
It's kingdom work.
Yeah, it's kingdom work, and we got to do what we got to do. We got to do what we got to do. And I'm not proud of this, but when we transitioned out of full-time vocational ministry a couple years ago, and we were looking for a church to plug into, I can remember driving in the car and JC saying this is going to be the first time in a long time. I can't even remember the last time that we sat together in church.
Yeah.
And so the first couple times that we went, it was not just her sitting with her and I sitting, but our family was together.
Right.
I'm not proud of that. But I think it's to your point where it's like we get so focused on, we get the priorities out of whack.
Yeah.
Right? Why wasn't there, why didn't I make that a priority when we're running, So I definitely think that that's a reason. Are there other challenges that stand out?
Well, I think, here's the thing. Our marriage is certainly supposed to outlast our ministry.
Yeah.
And
it's supposed to be our first ministry, right?
Right. And we have that priority, but we also let things creep in. Like the boundary thing is huge.
Yeah.
And because it's always just, what's one meeting? What's one this? What's one afternoon? What's one evening? And before you know it, you've got several months together of, you really haven't had any. And all the just ones put together, it's just 20.
Yeah.
And it happens so quickly. So that whole boundary thing can be a real problem. And we set up some boundaries, but do we have the right boundaries around the right things? And are we prioritizing the right things. And that feels so unspiritual because you're called to lead in the church and you have this calling, and it allows us to buy into those expectations. And we sure do. We have expectations we have to live up to. We've got to hold those things in balance.
Yeah. So you probably never come across a leader who wouldn't know or agree with that our marriage is our first ministry.
No, I think everybody would say that, would believe that, would teach that, and expect that of others, sort of.
Yeah. But is that truly the case?
Well, our actions speak louder than our words, right?
Yeah.
And so when we try, when we're not even trying at some point to bring that into balance, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
And that betrays that, I say it. And that's not to, would think we can quickly take that to an unhealthy place where we're just unduly critical or hard on ourselves because we're not going to be perfect. And there are going to be strains in ministry.
Yeah, that's good.
And there are going to be times or seasons where that's a challenge.
Yeah. So definitely running in different directions is a challenge, boundaries, the isolation that comes with that. We're not going to get into it this episode, but the whole secondhand hurts, like impact that ministry has on that we can allow it to have on our spouses
and our kids.
Like that's a whole other episode.
For sure.
We'll have to talk our wives into
there's good luck.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk proactive, like solutions. So let's say that there's, hypothetically speaking, there's some leader out there right now, and they're in ministry, and God's moving, and they're doing good work.
Yeah,
but they're struggling.
Yeah.
What would you say to couples? Maybe some next steps as to how to not just be healthy, but to stay healthy, and to kind of protect their marriages from some of the. You can't insulate yourself from it all.
Right.
But what would you?
Yeah. Well, this is back to the time and space thing we've talked about before. You've got to create the time to have the conversation, and not reactive to. You can't have the conversation when you're already when things are already emotional, when things are already a wreck. You got to, but ideally you're having that conversation sooner. It's proactive, as we've talked about already.
Yeah.
It's intentional, and we're creating time for the conversation. But it's not just time for the conversation. We're also creating space within that conversation for us to really be, we say be honest. And what I think we really mean is like be vulnerable and transparent. Because you can be honest and not necessarily get to what's really going on.
Yeah.
And we can have an honest conversation, but I haven't given you the space in this conversation to really get it all out on the table. And I think we've got to be advocates for each other in that moment. Like we've got to see it and sense it, listen, and draw that stuff out of each other so that we can get it before it gets us.
Yeah, that intentionality. Like we always say, like you're not going to drift. You're going to drift, but you're not going to drift into a better place.
No.
Like that's going to take some intentionality.
Yeah, and you're going to drift accidentally. There's a point at which it's not so much accidental anymore; it's neglect.
Yeah,
and we got to be careful about that. And that, like one of the things here is we've got to, how do we do this? We got to stop believing the lie that it's just a season.
Yeah,
because like you can have a season that's a lifetime.
Yep.
And the tricky thing is that season metaphor, it can really throw us off because we know based on nature, the seasons change. And, if you don't live in Florida, you might have 4 of them.
Right.
And there's this predictability of after summer, the leaves are going to fall and then the snow's going to come. And when you're tired, or maybe before you even, or after you're fed up with scraping windows and shoveling driveways, the snow's going to melt and the trees are going to start to bud.
Yeah.
And you can't do anything to make that happen or to make that stop.
Yeah.
That is just the course of seasons and the nature of what God set in motion.
Yeah.
That doesn't transfer in the metaphor of our life.
Right.
There are seasons of life that are not going to change until I do something about them. Right?
Yeah.
And so that's this whole thing. Proactive requires action.
Yeah.
And so if I want the season I'm in to change, I might have to be the catalyst for change. If I want the season we're in to change, I might have to be the catalyst for us to change.
Right.
I may need to be the lifeline for my spouse.
Yeah.
Because, this is part of your story. You reached a point where I can't even tie my shoes.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to make decisions about this.
So good. So good. And I pray that this conversation speaks life or gives hope to somebody who's struggling out there right now with this stuff, because it is real. It's everywhere. If you're tuning in and you're in that place, like, you're not alone. You're not the exception. This is a reality for most leaders. And so for you to be tuning in and even like joining in on this conversation could be the first step towards health. And so thank you, Monty, for joining us. Thank you for joining us as well. We have episodes that come out each month, and we hope that you will continue this journey with us. Between now and then, we want you to please subscribe and like this channel on YouTube or whatever platform you tune into. And also, we want to encourage you to sign up for our monthly check-in. It's a resource that we send to leaders for free that's focused on leader health and leader help.
Yes.
We provide insights and just keep this conversation going. It's free to you. All you have to do is go to our website, Thrive360.com, all words, Thrive360, no numbers, all words, Thrive360.com, and you can sign up there and we'll get that information to you. Thanks again for tuning in. God bless you. We'll see you next time on the Thrive360 podcast.